final season follows our favorite characters as they evaluate their relationships, both new and old, in an effort to figure out who and what comes with them in the next phase of their lives. All episodes now streaming on HBO Max. We are here with the platinum-selling multi-hyphenate Selena Gomez, who is the star and executive producer of Only Murders in the Building, and the series co-creator, John Hoffman. They're talking about everything to do with the show, including season 2. Selena, your career evolution is remarkable. You take bold swings with movies like Spring Breakers, The Fundamentals of Caring, The Dead Don't Die, and you produce. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But when Only Murders in the Building arrived, what was it that you found appealing about it to fit in your canon?
Well, to be honest, I actually related to the character in a lot of ways, from her way of kind of making new friends and unconventional places and feeling a little isolated and not understood sometimes. And then on top of it, I'm obsessed with true crime. Last night, actually, funny enough, I went to an escape room. And a bunch of my friends made fun of me because they're like, oh, now that you're on murders, you think you can solve it all? Because I just would find little ways. So I just found this natural connection to Mabel, and it wasn't till later would I find out that I got to build the relationship with Steve and Marty naturally. So it was actually in real time, and you can tell through wrapping up season 2 that we've created such a synergy between one another, and that's how it would have progressed in real life. So it honestly feels like a family to me, and I feel safe and I feel able to do, new things with Mabel, and it was kind of a no-brainer. And plus I'm with 2 legends.
And John, what made Selena a great foil to Steve Martin's Charles and Martin Short's Oliver? Was it a Diane Keaton, Louise Lasser sensibility?
First of all, I love the reference.
Right.
But no, I would have to say, it was Selena Gomez. And it really was that. I felt a direct link in my mind until we put everyone together. That made a lot of sense to me about sort of going an unexpected route, certainly with those 2 guys, and then partnering them up with someone who would feel fresh and feel different. And the whole show is built on classic meets modern, right? So
exactly.
I can't be a more modern woman than Selena Gomez. So, and then when we talked, and the first time we chatted, Selena and I Zoomed together with Dan Fogelman and Jess Rosenthal, and we were completely enthralled. And she connected to it in a way that felt innate and just easy. And then I think the big question and curiosity for all of us was what happens when the 3 of them get together? And that combo led, really, truthfully, because Steve and Marty are a well-oiled machine, but led by Selena in the first read-through of our script, because she was driving with her own natural comedic flair. And that's well honed. And I really recognized that early on when I saw her early work. And I was like, oh, she's got her own thing there. She's got a style and a way in which she lands a line, lands a joke, and there's not a dishonest bone in her body, which is pure comic gold. And that, to me, is what I saw immediately happen in our first table Zoom, and all of us did. The phones lit up after that first table read, and we were like, she came to play. And it was thrilling.
I mean, you have the hard job, Selena, playing the straight person. That's where all the funny is. Forget about all the goofballs.
I really enjoy it, I have to say. And again, life imitates art, because half the time I don't understand what they're talking about, and I find it hysterical. So I learned a lot. But yeah, no, there's such a good feeling about being able to be the middle ground in it all. And there's also this sense of like, not like a relief of pressure, because I know that I'm able to get to the grounded place, but it's so important to have what Steve and Marty are. I mean, they are incredible. So I just try to match up to them as much as I can.
I'm just sharing an old story that Claire Danes, when I interviewed her years ago for Shop Girls, she shared this story about when she was working with Steve Martin. I said, did you learn anything from him comedy-wise? And she says, well, there was this thing, I was going in and out of a door, and he was just showing me the timing with it. And I was just curious, did you have those moments with these two guys? Not that you don't need any comedy lessons. I'm just curious.
No, I welcome it. And if anything, here and there, nothing like crazy. They'll just suggest something, and we have such a great relationship where I'm like, no, I don't think that's funny, or oh, okay, I'll try that. And yeah, I'll even be honest and say, oh, I don't know if I can pull that off, and then they'll get me out of my comfort zone. But I've just learned overall that they really don't take themselves too seriously, and I think there is some gold in that, because not only does it disarm me as an actor, it also allows the whole set.
I heard the idea, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, I wanted to do a show in New York City. My whole life, basically. I was born in Brooklyn. It was a dream of mine to do a show or a movie in New York, shoot it. And then when I heard the idea and I thought a pre-war apartment building, I did take it back to...
Clearly not me.
You're classy, okay? And first of all, there's nothing wrong with pop star. And if you were to just sing on the show, it could be its own thing. It could be, like a cabaret thing. It could be,
It could be. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed.
There are no flights of fantasy, I will say, but I love what you're saying, because I think that is the bottom line always, is like, we have to stay true to these characters, but there is this pocket of our show that allows ourselves to go off into the imagination a little bit.
For your Emmy consideration for outside. Characters here, that you could take them into a far off realm and it would still feel organic because of what you've established and just their shorthand and their timing and everything and the cadences. I mean, do you agree with that? I mean, you've got some rich twists here between, Tim Kono and Jan and Theo. But I mean, I really feel that it's like you could decide, randomly, oh, this is going to be the ending, and it all makes sense. Because of what you've laid out with them. Am I wrong?
No, I hope you're right, and that's the goal when we work together with the writers. It's my favorite brand of comedy, coming from the human and coming from the relatable and the universal and the sort of connective tissue that happens when people are thrown into a situation where their defenses come down because there's a dead body on the floor. And now the two people who are strangers to them are now looking at it and they feel very differently about each other because they're sharing this one experience, and things start to open up with them that wouldn't open up with other people.
Diagnosed with lupus about 5 or 6 years ago.
Other people. Also, it's the way in which these three amazing actors work together with us writers to sort of inform their characters themselves. Honestly, we learn about Mabel through Selena. We learn about Oliver. Marty will walk on a set and say, "This doesn't feel like me." One line, and it can be one line. And I love that when that happens. Steve will come in and say, "I'm not sure I would say that." I couldn't enjoy that more, but we all are learning together who these people are, but we're coming from a place of common comedic understanding that has room for genuine poignancy and pathos between all of the characters and within their internal lives and backstories. And we explore it kind of unafraid, because also they're amazingly gifted to go comedically and dramatically as well. So we're very lucky to be able to just dance in this territory.
Selena, you've taken a hand in producing a number of your projects, and here you're executive producer. You know, that's not a role some performers want. What do you love about producing? When you were coming up, did you observe the role of the producer on set and say, that's something I would like to do? Could you talk?
My mom actually was, someone that inspired me when it came to behind the scenes stuff. She was, even when I was younger, we were constantly watching like documentaries on film, and she would read tons of books, and she was in theater, and then she would move into commercial work, but everything was always kind of background, and I always had a fascination with it. I love story making, and I love being able to do as much as I can. I don't think I'm nearly as talented in that department as maybe I am in other areas, but I do love having a say. I love being able to know that if something doesn't feel right, or if the music is this, or something kind of feels different, that there is a sense of understanding that I can come in and shift it a bit, as opposed to this is what I have to do, even if it makes me want to do things I don't want to do or something. I wouldn't put myself in a situation like that, but that's just an example.
So for both of you, the ending that we see, was that always the ending where it was always Jan and then the three of them go to jail, or were there alternative endings that you were kicking around? Was there an option?
The mystery of Edwin Droop. Is that what you're saying? No.
Yes, exactly, precisely. How'd you know? What a fun show. Don't.
Or Clue. I guess Clue is the other one that did that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was very interesting. I will say this part. I did pitch this show to Hulu before we started rolling, before we did anything to get the green light. I pitched the whole season in general and the arc and the pilot in great detail. But by the end, one of the last sentences was, and so at the end of season 1, our 3 newbie podcasters have now become both the suspects in the main murder for next season and the subjects of a competing podcast done by their mentor. So it was that by the end of it. So it was well thought out structurally through that way, but things developed in the writer's room to make us adjust a little bit to who the murderer might be, and things developed, interrelationally with the characters, and that felt like when we get closer, when we discover Mabel knows Tim Kono and has a relationship with him in the past, that is a spark of excitement.
So, do you think you'll do a tour soon, or no?
I am open to a tour 1,000%, but I obviously have obligations and things that I want to do. So when the time's right, it's not the top of my priority list.
Okay. And John, aside from finishing season 2
aside, Anthony, from doing that, I do nothing but, I could not find myself in a luckier position with this show. So I've had development for years with other projects, and what's sweet is when they start rising a little bit because of this good fortune we've had with this show. That's lovely, but my focus is making this, again, just stronger, better, always with this group. It's an amazing, rare air position to be in with this amazing collection of people.
story for it. If you saw that, she just did a documentary a couple of years ago that went to Tribeca, and there's this whole story just about how she just survived and went from the other thing I was going to say on that is, Selena, if you haven't listened to it, Pirates of Penzance.
Kind of say to yourself to keep yourself motivated and keep yourself positive?
I think for me, it's all about just when I sleep and if it's a good night's sleep.
It's like, are you getting enough sleep,
You know what
Selena?
you know what I mean? No, I'll wake up and I'll just be like, man, I don't want to move right now. I'm enjoying my.
You've got real problems, just like the rest of us.
I know.
I would hopefully say that's any of that what's happening right now everywhere. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just important to know that I get to wake up every day and be alive. I think that's all I genuinely am grateful for.
And what are you most looking forward to in 2018?
I'm looking forward to music. I really am. I think it's going to be a cool time for me to start working on that and just getting into the swing of things and just living my life, being happy.
Girl, you go first.
No, I was just going to say, we hope you have a fabulous evening inside. And we are so honored that you are here tonight.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm very honored to be
Congratulations.
here, so thank you guys so much.
And you look great as a blonde.
Thank
I have
you.
to say.
Here with all of you guys tonight, my lupus community. As many of you know, I was diagnosed, or might not know, I was diagnosed with lupus about 5 or 6 years ago. I've been speaking out about my situation to raise awareness of the disease so people see a doctor right away if they feel like they have any symptoms. And just so that, honestly, people can understand what it means to live with lupus. I also want people to know why research is so important and why we must support the scientists who bring all the promise of new discoveries. After undergoing so many tests to monitor my kidneys, my doctors told me I had lupus nephritis, one of the most common complications of lupus. They said that I would be needing a kidney transplant. Maybe I wasn't necessarily really good at knowing what that meant, so it actually got to a point where it was life or death. Thankfully, one of my best friends gave me her kidney, and it was the ultimate gift of life. And I'm doing very well now, thankfully. Thank you. 2 of my doctors are actually here with their beautiful partners, and I just want to say thank you so much, because it feels good to actually be honoring people like you, where in my world it can seem kind of vain, but this is really, really special. So, not everyone is lucky enough to have a donor, and something as monumental as an organ transplant shouldn't be the best treatment option available. I am supporting the Lupus Research Alliance because they are getting results, and that's what gives people hope. The Lupus Research Alliance works with the top researchers who are finding new and safer ways to treat and maybe even prevent damage to the kidneys and other organs. The scientists they fund are looking at what causes lupus, so maybe someday it can be cured. I'd like to see the day when all young women can realize their dreams of life without a lupus. This is why I'm committed to the Lupus Research Alliance, so that none of us are alone, especially the young women that I've grown up with and heard many, many stories. Just want to say thank you, and I hope that we can do something for all of the younger people who need to know what this means, so thank you. I am really honored to be here with all of you. Thank you guys so much. To be honest, I think Frances should be getting this award because she saved my life. Sorry. All right, okay. I feel incredibly lucky because I was very confused to feel like if I said too much, maybe I wasn't doing enough. And honestly, I couldn't be more grateful for the position that I've been given in my career from 7 to 14 to now. I want people to know that I respect the platform that I have so deeply because
I knew that I wanted to be a part of something great, and I wanted people to feel great because I love people. But specifically this year, I would like to thank my amazing team and my family because they stuck with me through some really hard times. And I got to do a lot this year, even though I had a couple of other things to do. But I feel like for me, with my music, I've really been able to illustrate the things that I want. And I'm reminded by a team of people who believe in me, even when I don't myself, and I couldn't be luckier. But I don't feel more proud. I've never felt this proud to be a woman in the industry than I do today. And that's because I actually feel comfortable with every single woman that has encouraged me. But how crucial it is that the voices that are being heard for the first time is so great. And I'm so grateful for all the older women who have lifted all of us up, because I couldn't be here without any of you. So thank you for all of you that have inspired so many girls who don't feel like they have a voice. I am very, very lucky. I love you guys, and thank you, Billboard. Thank you to my team and my 4-year-old sister, Gracie. I love you. And thank you to these beautiful women. I don't know how I'll ever repay it, but maybe I'll make an epic album next year for you guys and everyone else. Thank you. Thank you guys so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Francia Raiza, and I am so happy to be here tonight to help honor our Woman of the Year, who is a little sister to me, my beautiful friend, Selena Gomez. When we first met, we bonded immediately. It was way back when I was on The Secret Life of the American Teenager, and Selena was on Wizards of Waverly Place, and only had 91 million Instagram followers. Yeah, not that famous. Selena, she came up to me, and she introduced herself and told me that she was a huge fan, and I remember feeling blown away by the magnitude of her kindness and generosity, and also thinking she was a bad liar. We quickly became family. I mean, we've shared every high, every low, every success, and every failure together. Our Latina sisterhood has connected us professionally and personally. She is my biggest champion and my best cheerleader, and I hers. I mean, we are so close that we literally are the same kidney type, which, interestingly enough, came in handy recently. No. No, but honestly, when I found out I was a match for Selena, I didn't think twice about it. I was honored, and if I was in the same situation, she wouldn't have thought twice about doing it for me. That's just who she is, and why I'm so proud to call you my sister, my friend. You know, something else she and I share is that neither of us went to prom, something we've always talked about, but this seems like a pretty good substitute, and this award is way better than winning prom queen. I couldn't be more proud to honor you tonight with it. And, well, everyone, I'd like to present my best friend, my sister, Selena Gomez, with the 2017 Billboard Woman of the Year Award. I love you, girl.